As the sun rose over the rugged mountain peaks, the sky lit up with bold shades of orange and pink. Alex, an experienced outdoorsman, felt the wild calling to him. He carefully packed his backpack, map, compass, energy bars, and plenty of water. The untouched backcountry was his sanctuary, a place to push his limits and escape the non-stop noise of everyday life. He always kept his route to himself. That was his rule. The morning air was crisp, the pine trees towering quietly as he set out. With every step, he left civilization farther behind, heading deeper into the wild. He felt a surge of confidence, ready for whatever the mountains might throw at him. Or so he thought. But the wilderness has its own rules, and it demands respect. As the hours went by, Alex left the main trail, trusting his map and his gut. He scrambled over mossy rocks and pushed through thick brush, enjoying every challenge. In a quiet clearing, he paused to take in the breathtaking view below. The land seemed endless, forests, lakes, and a sky that went on forever. He felt unstoppable, but the wild is always watching, untouched by human pride. Feeling sure of himself, Alex decided to take a shortcut through a narrow, rocky canyon. He studied his route, picked his holds, and started to climb. His campsite was almost in sight, but Alex had no idea that his adventure was about to become a fight for his life. The canyon was tighter than it looked. Alex moved with practiced grace, testing each hold. Silence pressed in, broken only by his breath and boots on stone. Halfway through, he reached for a large, flat rock above his head. It seemed solid, a perfect anchor. The moment he gripped it, a faint vibration ran through the stone. A low groan echoed. The boulder shifted. Before he could react, the rock broke free, sliding with a deafening roar. Dust and pebbles rained down. He tried to scramble back, but there was nowhere to go. The boulder slammed his right leg against the canyon floor, pinning him. Agony shot up his leg, dizzying and absolute. He screamed, the sound swallowed by stone. He was trapped, his leg crushed beneath an immovable weight. Panic set in, cold and suffocating. He pushed, pulled, thrashed, nothing budged. The horrifying truth sank in. He was alone. No one knew where he was. Supplies were limited. The sun dipped below the canyon rim. Darkness began to fall. Night brought a new terror. Pain throbbed in his leg, but the mental anguish was worse. Every shadow moved, every sound a threat. The cold seeped in, his jacket no match for the chill. He shivered uncontrollably, fear gnawing at him. Alone, he thought of his family, his friends. No one knew his nightmare. The silence was suffocating, amplifying his isolation. Hours crawled by. Pain became his only companion. He shouted for help until his voice was gone. Only echoes answered. Hope faded, replaced by exhaustion. He hadn't slept, his mind a battlefield of fear and regret. This was a test of will, not strength. As dawn crept in, a spark flickered within him. Fear had ruled the night, but he couldn't let it win. He had survived the first night. He had to fight on. Day 2 brought hunger and desperate thirst. The sun baked the canyon, his water bottle was nearly empty. Dehydration was the real enemy. He scanned the rocks for any sign of moisture. A dark streak on the canyon wall caught his eye, a slow drip of water. It was just out of reach. He stretched, pain flaring but couldn't touch it. Then, an idea, his t-shirt. He threw it against the damp rock, letting it absorb the precious drops. Slowly, he wrung a few gritty drops into his mouth. It tasted of dirt, but it was life. This became his routine, a constant battle against thirst. The task gave him purpose. He wasn't just waiting to die, he was surviving. Each drop was a small victory. He fought back with a t-shirt and determination. The mountain hadn't beaten him yet. By day 3, the mental battle was the real war. Time lost meaning, silence pressed in. His mind played tricks, voices, helicopters, hope that vanished. He fought despair with mental routines, reciting loved ones' names, walking through memories, solving problems. Memories comforted and tormented him, reminders of life, regrets, promises to do better. Reality blurred with hallucination. He saw visions, spoke to people who weren't there. He chose to believe in hope, using it as a survival tool. Positive thoughts anchored him. Hope wasn't just emotion, it was a weapon. He had to choose it minute by minute. The canyon tested his mind as much as his body. He clung to the will to live. Madness threatened, but he fought it with discipline. He would not let the mountain win. He chose hope again and again. Survival meant action, not just waiting. Rescue was unlikely. He had to free himself. He studied the rock, searching for solutions. His tools, a pocket knife, belt, a few stones. He tried chipping away at the boulder, futile, exhausting. The knife broke. Next, he fashioned a lever from a nearby rock, using his belt for grip. He pushed with all his strength, pain exploding in his leg. The lever snapped, another failure. Despair crept in. Then the darkest thought surfaced: amputation. Could he cut through his own leg to survive? The idea was terrifying, but it was a choice between slow death and a brutal chance at life. He stared at his broken knife, his crushed leg. The mountain forced him to confront the limits of human endurance. He lay there, wrestling with the unthinkable. It was the ultimate test. He wasn't ready to give up. On the fifth day, Alex was weak, drifting in and out of consciousness. The thought of amputation haunted him. He'd stopped shouting, hope was nearly gone. Then, a distant rumble. A helicopter. He fumbled for his mirror, flashing sunlight skyward. The helicopter passed overhead, then circled back. They'd seen him. Relief overwhelmed him as rescuers descended. With specialized equipment, they lifted the boulder. Agony surged as blood returned to his leg, but it was the pain of life. He was secured to a stretcher, lifted out of the canyon. The prison of stone fell away beneath him. He was free. Tears streamed down his face. The nightmare was over. He had survived. The hospital brought doctors, family, and relief. His leg was saved, but recovery would be long. The mental scars ran deeper than the physical. Nightmares lingered, silence felt threatening. The ordeal had changed him. He learned true strength was conquering fear and despair. Survival was about will, not muscle. The mountain humbled him but also revealed his resilience. Life's small miracles, water, a bed, a loved one's voice, became precious. He no longer needed to prove himself. His new adventure was to live fully, love deeply, and never take life for granted. Hope was an active choice, a daily weapon. He returned to the wilderness, but never alone. The rock became his greatest teacher. Never give up, even when all seems lost.